Hello Libra, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of the connection. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As I do in all of my readings, I pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have a different tarot deck I'll be pulling from for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck I will be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please do remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. All right, Libra, let's jump on in. On your side of the connection, you have Thorny with the Three of Swords here, and I'm really drawn to this picture of this cactus. The reason being is I feel like it's very obvious that you're heartbroken over this connection, that this connection has hurt you. And I feel like what happened was it was like trying to hug a cactus in a way. It's like trying to get close to somebody who like had these natural defenses up of trying to push you away. Because that's what the thorns on a cactus are. It's a survival mechanism for a cactus. And I feel like that's kind of it's like the way you got hurt was loving someone who didn't know how to be loved. And I feel like that's what this whole reading is about. Now, this person, they have tangled with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse here. So this person's caught up in a web. They're caught up in something that isn't good for them. The Seven of Pentacles in reverse can be an energy of needing to reevaluate where you're investing your energy. And I feel as if they're, it's like they're caught up in a web of lies, maybe. I don't know. Something karmic that might not have anything to do with you, but I feel like regardless of this, you've been trying to love them, to be there for them anyway, and in the end, or as of now, you've kind of ended up hurt. Now, in between this connection, you have change with the Hierophant. This is the universe saying, Libra, something's got to change here. Something's got to give. Because I feel as if the Three of Swords that you're experiencing here, like the pain that you're experiencing, is like it's not sustainable. Like you know, when you get hurt by something over and over again, eventually you kind of almost become numb to that pain because you're so used to it, and you lose yourself in the experience because you get so used to hurting that you forget that it's like you're not supposed to be hurting as much as you are. And I feel like that's kind of what has happened in this connection. The overall theme of the reading is release. So there's a need to cut yourself off from the pain that you're experiencing here. And I'm not saying it has to be like totally cutting yourself off from this person or anything like that, but something has to change. And I feel like that's kind of what the reading is going to focus on here. But that's just the overall energy. Let's dive into the nitty gritty, Libra, starting with your side of this connection. You have Thorny with the Three of Swords. This is Libra's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Ooh, you're frustrated. You're frustrated with how things are, where things are at. I feel like you definitely expect things to be different. I don't feel like you expected to get hurt as bad as you did. And I almost feel like you were kind of blindsided by this pain. Like either the fact that you got hurt in general or how badly you got hurt. I do feel as if this Three of Swords is running pretty deep though. There's a lot of frustration that you're experiencing in this connection, just frustration of, I feel where things are at, and like no matter how much you try, you just seem to continue to get hurt. And that's kind of gotten you to this place of being like I said, almost like so comfortable with the pain because you're so used to experiencing it. Libra side of the connection. You're stuck. Six of Swords in reverse. Here you are. Queen of Swords. Whether you're male or female, you're stuck. It's like you can't seem to get out of this pain. It's like you're stuck in how much this hurt. Like, think going back to that example of hugging a cactus. It's like you have these thorns in you that you can't seem to remove. And if you remove one, the wound doesn't seem to heal. And I feel like you've been stuck in the pain of this connection for a very, very long time. And maybe that's what you're the most frustrated about. It's like you're frustrated that this is hurting and has been hurting for so long. Libra side of the connection. Man, this connection has done a number on you. You might still be in it, but you might not. But like, okay, you have this Emperor with the Magician in reverse. I feel like this is you looking for your Emperor. Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. Typically, feminine energy is more over here. Masculine energy is more over here. That has nothing to do with gender. We all have feminine and masculine energies within us. It's like you're looking for like your match, your partner, your person. And it just feels like this connection made you doubt that that's ever going to manifest. It's like, it almost feels as if you really thought you found this Emperor. You really thought you found your person here. And it just feels like the way that things ended up, because again, I feel like you were very blindsided by this pain. You really didn't expect things to happen this way. And that is causing you to majorly doubt whether or not the love that you're looking for is ever truly going to manifest. I do feel like this is a past connection, but I also feel like you're still very involved with it in some way, shape, or form. Maybe energetically through tarot readings, or, still in communication, but not in each other's lives. I don't know. But I feel like there's definitely a distance, there's definitely a separation between these two energies. Even if like you live with this person, there's still very much an emotional distance here. And that, I don't know, it's like you can't seem to break out of how painful this is and like continues to be. Because it feels like you really thought this was going to go a different way. You really thought things were going to be like this was it, I feel like. And then it super wasn't. This person's energy toward Libra. Tangled with the... Six of Pentacles in reverse there. Tangled with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Let's see, what is this person dealing with? What is this person's energy toward Libra? I want it to turn all the way around or hit the table like that. Ooh. It's a very stubborn energy. Seven of Wands, Four of Cups in reverse, and Page of Cups in reverse. A very stubborn energy. Someone who is, with the Page of Cups in reverse here, someone who is very emotionally unavailable. focused on something else or closed off for some reason. And they're stubborn about this. It has to do with something they're caught up in. Something they're caught up in and has them very emotionally unavailable. I don't know what this is though. Now, it doesn't need to be like, oh, they must be in another relationship. It's not what I'm saying. They could be caught up with work and like over prioritizing their career, or, just in general, the chasing after material things, or caught up, because they're caught up in something that doesn't serve them. And whatever that is causing them to be very emotionally unavailable here. Like closed off to love or to creating or building a healthy connection. This person's energy toward Libra. So the Ace of Wands with the Empress in reverse, they have feelings for you, but they're severely undervaluing you. It's like they're not truly appreciating all that you're bringing to the table. I definitely feel like this is this energy of taking you for granted here. And, when someone takes our energy for granted, it hurts because we're like, oh, well, this person's undervaluing me. Like, that sucks. But the worst thing that we can do is take that very personally and make it almost as if it's like, oh, well, this person gets to determine my value. Because they don't. This person isn't in charge of how valuable you are, what you're capable of receiving in love. And if someone undervalues you, that's more of a reflection of them than it is us. And it doesn't dictate or determine your worth. I've been using this analogy a lot in my love readings, but if you handed this person a handful of diamonds, and this person took these diamonds and screw that and threw them out, you wouldn't question the worth of the diamonds. You would question why the hell that person threw away the diamonds, right? So I encourage you to look at yourself as being this person who is incredibly valuable, regardless of how this person is seeing your value, but also at the same time, making sure that you're not looking for this person to value you so much so that you're losing sight of your value through your own eyes because you're focused so much on whether or not this person values you. Because if they're not valuing you, it's easier said than done for sure, but like that's their loss, right? If they're not prioritizing this connection, if they're not doing the work to make this, happen or work, and they're so stubborn and determined to kind of push you away here, that's their loss, right? That's not, and you might be like, well, it's my loss too, but all you're losing is the hurt that they're causing you. And sure, the potential of what this could be, but that potential still exists outside of this connection. The potential for you to be loved in the way that you deserve and desire exists regardless of one person's ability to do that. So do remember that. This person's energy toward Libra. What is this person caught up in? Two of Cups, King of Cups, Three of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles. Oof, okay. First of all, you could be dealing with a water sign. Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, but you definitely don't have to be. I just seeing the King of Cups here. There is something that this person is prioritizing that, and I've already said this, it's a third party of some sort. That doesn't automatically mean that there's another person in it. Whatever this third party is, I feel like you're totally aware of this. I don't think this is a secret at all. But they're prioritizing something here that isn't good for them, that it's almost like you have all of this love to give, and you want to be there to prioritize them, and you want to be there to choose them and to support them, and they're choosing to invest in something that doesn't provide them with all those things. So, and in the process, like taking what you do give them very much for granted. Now, there's something going on that's causing this. I don't know what it is. Because that seems like a silly thing to do, right? You hand someone diamonds, they throw your diamonds in the trash, someone else holds them, gives them coal, and they cherish it. Or something else. Again, this doesn't necessarily mean that there is somebody else. It can be a job, an addiction, it can be literally anything, and I'm pretty sure you are completely aware of it. They're tangled up in something karmic, something that isn't serving them. You have diamonds to give them, they got coal. They're accepting coal from somewhere else here. I don't know. And you're frustrated as hell because I feel like you know how much value you bring to this person's life, and you're wondering why they're not accepting it. And the biggest thing you're needing to know is them not accepting your value has nothing to do with whether or not you're actually valuable. But it feels like, and that's the whole hugging a cactus thing, right? If they've already got these wounds and these traumas that cause them to not choose things that are good for them, like to chase after things that are bad for them and push away things that are good for them, that's 100% what's on them. That's not on you. And when you're dealing with someone like that and you try to get close, you're just going to end up getting hurt because if they're not dealing with their own thorns, those thorns are going to become your problem. Sticking to this a cactus analogy. And I feel like that's kind of what ended up happening here. But I'm still a little confused, so let's keep going. This is Libra's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Because something's got to change, right? Something's got to give. Libra's side of the connection. So this person is again this King of Cups. And here's the thing. I feel like this is one of those energies of like, this person has a lot of potential to be what it is that you're looking for here. But it also feels at the same time like they don't really show up as that person. Because there's the Page of Cups in reverse. Like this again is this energy of this person's being emotionally unavailable. It's like you have so much love to give them, but they literally aren't open to receiving that love. It's like they won't let you love them. They won't let you in enough to love them. They won't, drop the mask or whatever the case is to let you in enough to allow you to give them that love. And then you might see like them over prioritizing something else and wonder like, well, why am I not good enough? But this other thing is, or they're willing to prioritize their job, but I don't matter even though I'm the one that supports and loves them, or whatever the case might be. And what you need to know is that has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your worth and your value. It has to do with you trying to love somebody who is literally not open to being loved in the way that you have to provide. And that right there isn't your burden to bear, nor is it any indication that your love is not valuable. It's just that it's not being valued. Anywhere that your energy is not valued is a place where you don't belong. That doesn't mean your energy is not valuable. It means you're trying to be valued in places and in spaces that aren't in alignment with what it is you're truly deserving of. And I feel like that's why something needs to change here, because this is starting to affect you on a very deep level. Libra side of the connection. Hierophant, 10 of Pentacles, and 6 of Pentacles. It feels like the reason that I feel you keep loving them through this or showing up with for them through this is part of you is like, oh, if they can, this situation can resolve itself, then eventually things will get better. Or if this person can get it together, or if they can stop over prioritizing work, or handle this addiction, or whatever the case is, then eventually, things can get better. But bad habits, I don't know if you've ever heard how bad habits can completely replace themselves. So if this person has this bad habit of over prioritizing work, that might turn into sure, they might stop prioritizing work, but they're going to choose another bad habit to replace it unless they heal the root of the reason why the bad habit exists. Why they're because again, it feels like this person is actively choosing things that aren't good for them and pushing away things that are. And so if they're choosing things that are not good for them, it's not about them making the decision to stop choosing this one specific thing. It's about them learning not to choose things that are bad for them and to learn to invest in things that are. And that is their own personal healing journey. And you are completely separate from that. You're obviously showing up trying to love and nurture and care for this person, right? You have good intentions. This connection would benefit from this person opening up and letting themselves be loved and learning to reciprocate that in a healthy way. But their unwillingness to do that isn't your burden to bear when it comes to your ability to be loved. And so the more that you try to force this person to accept the love you have to give, the more you end up getting hurt. Now, one of the things I often talk about is when we are searching for love and emotionally unavailable people, a lot of the times it's because we ourselves are emotionally unavailable, meaning that we don't believe that we can have the love that we truly desire, so we often seek it in in places where we know we can't have it. And I feel like there's a little bit of a cycle going on here where this might not be the first time that you've attracted an emotionally unavailable person. And you might be wondering, I see the comments all the time, every guy or every woman I've ever met is emotionally unavailable, or they all cheat on me, or they all do this and they do that. Not all men or women are emotionally unavailable and cheat. But typically when we attract the same thing over and over again, there's a lesson that needs to be learned so that we can break out of experiencing that experience, which I feel is what this release is. It's breaking out of this experience and this cycle that you've been experiencing here, which is why something needs to change. Because I feel it's obvious that you're hurting and but you're continuing to love through that hurt. You're I'm willing to be there for them. I'm willing to love them through all of this. I have empathy for them and I understand this. And that's wonderful. But in the process of all of that, you're not loving yourself. You're not showing up for yourself. You're not choosing yourself here. And I feel that's, searching for love in emotionally unavailable people is a sign that something needs to be healed. That is literally something within us that is saying, I don't know how to be loved. I don't feel like I'm fully lovable. I feel, since I don't feel I'm fully lovable, I feel like I need to change emotionally unavailable people into emotionally available people so that I feel lovable. Because if I can prove my value and my worth to them enough where they change their behavior, then I'm going to feel more valuable and more worthy. But that's not actually how it works. In fact, the opposite tends to happen. And the more we search for love in emotionally unavailable people, the more that we actually end up feeling more unlovable and more incapable of having the love that we deserve, which is what ultimately happened in this connection, right? It's almost as if you just keep getting into connections that prove to you that you can't have what you desire, but that's not actually what's happening. It's not proof that you can't have what you desire. It's that there's this chasing after people who don't know how to love you the right way. And it's interesting because I talked about how this person is investing in things that aren't good for them and pushing away things that are. I kind of feel, Libra, like there's a mirror here and like you're doing the same thing. Investing in things that aren't good for you, people who don't know how to love you, and pushing away the opportunity to invest in people who do know how to love you. Because the first step in saying yes to what it is we truly desire is saying no to what doesn't align with that, which is really hard to do. And trust me, I get it. I went through a very large period of my life where I chased after emotionally unavailable people. But there's a need to kind of look deeper at what's really going on here, because it's like you're looking for what you desire in people who constantly prove to you that they can't give it to you, and then wondering why you can't have it. And it's funny how we do that. I'm not saying it's your fault or, because your trauma and the reasons that you've learned to believe that you're unlovable and you can't have the love that you desire and that it doesn't exist and it's not possible, none of those things are your fault. But looking deep within to try to uncover those things can help you make the changes that are best for you so you can create that love. Because our relationships will and always will be a reflection of what we think we can have and what we think we're deserving of. And so if your relationships are constantly undervaluing you and choosing things over you and not prioritizing you, then that right there is a sign that you believe that you deserve to be undervalued, not chosen, and not prioritized, or that you don't believe that you deserve to have the opposite of those things. And when you are able to kind of look at it from that perspective, you take your power back. Because obviously this person is doing what they're gonna do, right? People are gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna make decisions whether they're good for them or bad for them or whatever the case is. And it's gonna affect us in some way. We don't have power over that, but we do have power over how we respond. And when someone undervalues us, we never, ever, ever want to take that as an opportunity to prove our value. And oftentimes I see that happen a lot in connections where someone makes people feel undervalued and they say, well, let me show you how valuable I truly am, because we feel like we need to prove that to them. When in reality, the only person that we're trying to actually prove that to is ourselves. And we're saying, if I can get this person to see my value, then I will feel valuable. And a lot of times that means consistently attracting emotionally unavailable people into your life. Libra's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Yeah, because there's an attachment here. So it's almost like you feel like this person loving you or this person choosing you or whatever the case is your only opportunity to be loved. And it is absolutely 1,000,000,000% not. But the attachment that's been created here has caused you to put up with a hell of a lot that I feel you wouldn't have put up with if you felt you could receive love, the love you're truly deserving of in other places. I think that's why you are so frustrated about this person's behavior, is because you've attached your happiness and your value and your worth to their decisions. And you've said, if they don't choose me, I can't be loved. If they don't change, I can't be happy. And that has completely given you, this person, power and control over you and your ability to be loved and happy. And this person does not deserve to have that power. No one deserves to have that power over you. Only you deserve to have that power. When we create an attachment to another person and we say, I need you to love me and I need you to show up for me and I need you to treat me better or whatever the case is, what we're saying is, if you don't do these things, then I can't be happy. And the more you do that, the less power you have to actually create better for yourself. So I feel like I just said the same thing there, but in a different way. But what I'm ultimately just trying to get across is, you do have quite an attachment to this person. And it's almost like when we are in connections that hurt us over and over and over again, we almost get addicted to that pain. It almost becomes something that we like subconsciously start to choose, because at least like we have something, and sometimes we need to learn that we always have the opportunity to be loved like we deserve. But if you don't believe that's possible, you are going to constantly search for it in people and in places that make you feel the opposite. Because if you're looking for this person to prove to you that you're valuable, you inherently believe that you are not valuable. And if our relationships are a reflection of our relationship with ourselves, this connection is going to continue to make you feel unvaluable, because that's what you feel about yourself within. Now, one of the things I want you to know is you might on a conscious level know you're valuable, but 95% of our movements, choices, and decisions stem from our subconscious. So you might know you're valuable, but you might have been taught by past relationships and trauma and all these experiences that you've been through that you're not valuable. Someone actually commented this on my video. When was it? I think it was yesterday, actually. And I loved it. I had never heard it before. Maybe it's a common phrase, but I never heard it. And it said, this person was like, I need to start leading with my worth and not my wounds. And that is such a powerful statement, because so many people lead with their wounds without even really realizing it. These beliefs that we've acquired, that we're unlovable, that we're undeserving, that we're not good enough, and those become the ways that we behave, because we're trying to get the people and situations around us to prove us wrong, to make us feel lovable, worthy, and deserving. When in reality, we need to know those already and lead with that knowledge, so that we're no longer looking for other people to see that in us, because we see that in us. So when someone else doesn't see it in you, you no longer take it as a sign that you're not worthy, lovable, or deserving. You just take it as a sign that that person isn't meant for you or meant to be in your life. And when you can switch your perspective to like that, your relationships drastically change, because you no longer come from this place of I need you to do this, or I need you to be that, or I need you in general. You start to say, I choose this connection because I know it aligns with my value and my worth. And that, I feel like, is what ultimately needs to change here, so you can break out of this person's energy toward Libra. Because the reason that I feel like you're having such a hard time moving on from this and like getting those thorns out is because you're trying to understand why this person doesn't feel you're valuable, or why this person isn't treating you like you deserve, when in reality it has nothing to how people treat us, how people speak to us. It is a direct reflection of how they treat and speak to themselves. That is their business. That is their problem. That has nothing to do with us. Again, we have no control over what people do. We only have control over how we respond, and a big part of it is learning not to take other people's actions so personally. This person's energy toward Libra. Does Libra need to know about this person's energy toward them? Oof! This person's got suppressed inner child stuff. Because there's the past. There's 6 of Cups, Page of Wands, Ace of Cups in reverse. Suppressed inner child trauma that is directly affecting their ability to be emotionally available. So that's what's funny, right? It's not funny, it's painful, I get that. But like, if this person has childhood trauma that causes them to be emotionally unavailable, and you're taking their emotional unavailability personally and looking at it as a direct reflection of your worth, what you're actually doing is taking their childhood trauma personally. When you break it down like that, it sounds kind of silly, right? Of course it doesn't feel that way, and there's so much more to it. It's not so black and white. But one of the best things my therapist ever taught me is we cannot take other people's capacity to love personally, because it just doesn't have anything to do with us. We also can't confuse what we expect from other people with their capacity, because you might expect this person to do better, to treat you better, to love you better, and that is what you deserve. Okay, that is absolutely what you deserve. But if they're not able to provide it for you, that doesn't mean you can't have it, and that doesn't mean you're not deserving of it. It literally just means that this person is not in a place in their life where they are willing or able to do that for you. And we can't get mad at other people for not being willing to meet our needs. We can only choose to not invest our heart, mind, body, and soul into those people so that we can open ourselves up for the people that are on this earth that are meant to love you and will absolutely love you in the way you deserve. And I think that that's, the best thing I ever learned is everyone has their trauma. Everyone has their baggage. Everyone has things that they've been through that have caused them heartbreak, that make it difficult for them to sustain a healthy relationship. But a healthy relationship requires both parties being fully aware of those things and dealing with it through therapy or shadow work or just doing the healing and doing the work in general, so they don't bring it into the connection and make it the other person's problem. Emotionally unavailable people are coming from this place of desiring love but not knowing how to accept it. And you can't love people into becoming emotionally available. That is their need to heal their stuff so that they are able to, show up better for their relationships. And you can't do anything to make that happen, right? You can only respond in the best way for you. And the more you try to love this person, the more you end up getting hurt. So what this person is prioritizing and why isn't the point. It's the fact that it is obvious that this person isn't valuing you, and there is a need for you to make sure that instead of looking for them to value you before you know you're valuable, knowing that you're valuable and standing up for that, setting a boundary, speaking up about your needs. And that's not about trying to change somebody else. Your boundaries are not trying to change someone. It's about saying, this is what I require, and if you cannot provide that for me, that's fine, but I have to take my love elsewhere because this is affecting me, this is hurting me on a deep level. This person's energy toward Libra. This person is leading completely with their emotions. If you think about the worst decisions you've ever made in your life, every poor decision you've ever made, it's usually because your emotions were making the decision for you, right? Your anger or your sadness or whatever the case might be. When you're leading entirely with your emotions, you're leading entirely with your trauma, entirely with your wounds. And that is a lot of what this person is doing too. They're leading with their wounds. They have this childhood trauma, they're caught, but so are you, right? And you can focus all day long on what they need to do different, how they need to heal, how they need to change, how they need to grow. None of that's going to help you. None of that's going to help you move on. None of that's going to help you grow, and none of that is going to help you heal. The only thing that is going to help you heal is for you to look within you and say, how am I leading with my wounds instead of my worth? How am I allowing this person to dictate my worth instead of choosing to know that I am worthy and deserving regardless of what this person does? With the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, this to me is very much this energy of not being ready for an opportunity to give and receive love in a healthy manner. Now, this is hard truth territory here, Libra, but you had this exact same Ace of Pentacles in reverse. If you chase after love in people who don't know how to provide it for you, you also are not in a position of knowing fully how to accept love, which means there is a part of yourself that thinks that because of your flaws, because of your mistakes, because of the things about yourself that you don't love, that makes you unworthy and unlovable. That's the part of yourself that is looking to be loved through the pain that this connection is bringing up for you. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to break out of this cycle. And I can say this with 100% certainty because I've been there before. I was in an emotionally abusive relationship, and I spent a lot of time trying to psychoanalyze that person and understand why they did the things that they did and why they hurt me the way that they did, and hurt people, and insecure people hurt people, and blah, 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 blah. And I was probably right about a good chunk of it, but none of it helped me. And until I started to direct my healing toward myself and look at, like, okay, what is it about myself that attracted this into my life? What is this trying to teach me? What is looking to be healed through this experience? That's when I really started to heal from that. And ultimately, it's what led me to my current relationships that I have now. I'm happily engaged to the love of my life. I'm surrounded by people that love and support me. And none of it had anything to do with that person. Even though for the longest time I thought that if that person didn't love me or treat me well, that I was never going to be loved. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. This person's energy toward Libra. Man, we're just diving into the deep today. The Emperor in reverse. Remember we started out this reading talking about how this person is stubborn. It's like the only thing they're committed to is not letting people get too close. The Emperor in reverse is an energy of control, of doing what they can to maintain their control of others, to keep others at a distance, to keep others out. So whatever they're prioritizing probably doesn't require them to be vulnerable, doesn't require them to be open, doesn't require them to face themselves, doesn't require them to grow. And the love that you have to give, being reciprocated, would require them to grow, because healthy connections require growth. And if this person isn't willing to grow or change, and they're caught up in this, that, and the other thing, that's their problem. And dwelling on that and getting caught up on what they need to do is just going to keep you stuck. So the best way that, it's obvious that something needs to change here, and it's obvious you're having a hard time getting out of this energy, but it is possible. You just got to change your perspective a little bit. And that's what this Hierophant is talking about, is looking at it from a new perspective, looking at it from a 30,000 foot view, and trying to see the deeper meaning behind what's really going on here. And I feel like that's, a lot of what we brought forth in this reading. So I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We have change with the Hierophant. I'm going to pull 9 different messages and an advice card to close out the reading. Thank you so much, Libra, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. I know that these are some tough truths, but I hope they came through with nothing but, understanding that I'm coming from nothing but a place of love. And, my purpose for my readings is really to bring forth what I've learned. I've been in a lot of relationships, and I've been on this side of them, and I've been on this side of them, and I've learned a lot. And what I have learned and how I've grown because of the heartbreak that I've experienced is what has led me to being able to have the relationships I have today. So when I talk a lot about my experience, it's just to say I get it, and I've been there. There's never any judgment in my readings, and nor do I want you to judge or blame yourself. This is just about focusing on what you can control so that you can create the relationships that you're truly deserving of. But thank you again, and as always, Libra, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Libra.